So this is my old bandsaw again. It's standing on a new position. I've moved it here because it's more convenient here, but it doesn't work properly. So I will have to take it apart and to repair it.
The first problem is that this upper wheel has too much play here. I can move it in this direction very easily. So these are the two parts of this flat bearing. It's got oil in it here, and this oil is pushed upwards by this ring, which itself is pulled by the shaft just a little bit, just enough to transport the oil. And here you can see the major problem. I can turn it while the shaft isn't. So I've removed the top here as well, and now I've got to take the shaft and the wheel out, and the ring itself may be a problem here, but they have thought of this and they made the ring in two parts which can be pushed apart. So you can see here the shaft is no longer smooth, it's worn out and it has got massive bumps and dents in it. First I had to find someone who could turn this inside around again, necessarily with a wider diameter. So that's 39 millimeter. The shaft itself didn't have 39 millimeter. It was around 38. So I had to find another guy who was able to weld material onto this shaft and then turn it round again. This notch fits with this bolt here. That's just perfect. A tiny little screw that goes in here. Before I'm screwing the saw to the floor, I will have to check that it's perfectly horizontal, and no, it isn't. Doing the same thing in this direction is no use, because this table can be tilted and I don't know if it's in its zero position, so I will have to look at these points where the shafts are, and I will have to check that this and this point is perfectly vertical. This is the old motor. This motor has 4 kilowatt and turns with 1500 RPM. So the motor is going to sit here.
and the flat belt is linking this pulley to this, and now I've got to check that the alignment of this motor and the shaft of this pulley is exactly parallel. After 1 hour of aligning and checking and attaching the screws and so on, I've got an almost perfect solution. I'm not entirely satisfied, but it's worth giving it a try. Maybe you noticed there is noise, okay, but there is noise from inside the motor as well as from parts of this construction here, and I think the bearings in the saw as well as the bearings in the motor, they won't last forever, and at some point I will have to change this situation again. I just wanted to change the oil inside this bearing, but when I opened the screw on the bottom, no oil at all came out. So I want to look inside. Oh my god. This is just awful in there. Look at this. It's full of molten metal. This is just the metal of the bearing itself. It has a relatively low melting point and it contains lead and copper and so on. So here's the same mess as in the lid, molten metal everywhere in small crumbs and dirt, and I'm not sure if I can mend this, but I will try. But as I haven't anticipated this, I will have to make another video of how I hopefully get this thing going again. And in the meantime, I will have to get rid of this dirt.